state of being. Hoya, hova, here. It's the state of being. Vayi. That means the life of Sarah came to a whole shleimut, a whole. When I build a building, it says and it came. Vayi, and the building came. When the building's in the middle, it's not a building yet. When the building is finished, it's a building. Vayu Chaya Sara, the whole life of Sarah were components of a shleimut, of a perfection. And Vayu, when the life was completed, there was this total perfection. Rav Dessler gives an example, and gives a mashal, an analogy, to understand the world of time that we live in. And he says like this, take a map, look at a map of the world, and then take a piece of paper and make a pinpoint. On the map, every little point is another city, is another place. Take a piece of paper, make a hole through the piece of paper, so you have like this little place where you can see through. Then move the paper around the map, so you see one point, such a city. This is London. Then next to it, this is Manchester, whatever. You go on and on and on, and each from city to city. And then pick up the map, and then suddenly you see a whole world together. So he says like this: we're in a world of time, but the world of time is only relative to the world that we're in over here. The time doesn't, in this world, it's as if the time disappears, but it doesn't disappear. Every act that a person does, he lives in the world of time. After 120, who the person is and who his neshama is, it's the compact, compiled points of all time that come together, and that's what he did with the time. That's who the person is. After 120, it's as if you live in the world of time. It's the piece of paper. Everything's covered up, and you only see one point at a time. But after Yitziat HaNeshama, after the neshama comes up to the next world, you lift up the paper, and that's whatever one did with one's life. It's all gathered together. It all comes together. That's what he explains. It's all together. And that's what I'd like to put over here, this idea into this word over here. Vayiu Chaya Sara. Sarah's life came together and to a full being. That's Vayiu. It became a one compact thing. But you can only say such a thing if nothing was lost. And this reminds us of a chazal. It says like this: Rabbi Akiva was darshaning to his students. Ra'a, he saw. Shatziba hitnamnem. The tzibur fell asleep. I said this already before. Nothing new in this world. 2,000 years ago as well, the teacher speaking and the tzibur was sleeping. So Rabbi Akiva said to him, Lama, he wanted to wake them up. So he said, Lama zachsa Esther limloch almea v'esrim v'sheva medinot. In what merit did Esther get to reign over 127 cities? Medinot, that I translate Medinot, states. What merit? It says, Tavai bas bita shel Sara, let the granddaughter of Sarah that lived 127 years, and let her reign on 127 countries. Now, we need to explain this message, but it's interesting. To explain this, what is Rabbi Akiva saying here? What is the connection between Sarah living 127 years and Esther reigning on 127 places, countries? Now, just like we live in a world of time, we live in another dimension. This is a world of dimension. There are two dimensions that we basically live in this world. What's the second dimension of time, outside of time? Space. Sarah, the Torah tells us here about what she did with the dimension of time, and Esther was merited to reign over 127 points of space. The parallel that Rabbi Akiva made was between time and space. Interesting. The Medrash, and I will explain it, but first, definition. The Medrash begins here with a pasuk of Tehillim. Yoidea Hashem yemei tmimim v'nachlosam la'olam tiyeh. Pasuk in the Torah. Hashem know the tzaddikim, the words of the Medrash is like this. The tzaddikim hein tmimim ushnoi seihem tmimim. They are tmimim. The word tamim means without a blemish. The word tamim is like a korban, has to be tamim, without a blemish. Hein tmimim. The tzaddikim are tmimim. It means they don't destroy their neshama. They don't waste time. Everything is used for kvod shemayim, to reveal the honor of the Creator. Is hein tmimim. They themselves are tmimim. Ushnoiseim tmimim. Their years are complete. Let's go back to the pasuk. Yodei Hashem. The word Yodea, when we use the word Yedir, by HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it means extra divine providence. Hashem knows everything. So Yodei Hashem it means He's the Mashkiach b'miuchad, exclusively. He's guarding and looking at the tzaddikim. He recognizes. He's connected with. Yodei Hashem knows the days of the Tmimim. It's in Yemei Tmimim is both. Tmimim are the tzaddikim which are tamim. We'll explain in a minute what does it mean to be tamim. Yemei Tmimim and the days of Tmimim. And as a result of this, v'nachalosam la'olam tiyeh. The word in Hebrew of nachla, is very interesting. We use it in two ways. What is a nachal?
It's an inheritance.
What is it?
It's an inheritance.
We said the nachal.
A nachal.
River. Oh.
The river.
It could be in here.
You're right. The river flows. It's a brook, flowing brook. And what is a nachala? An inheritance. Can you see a connection between these two ideas? Between a flowing river and inheritance, or you don't see any connection?
Yeah, because a river flows in time.
Right.
And continues. The nachala is the sum total of
And the nachala is the river from generation. It is the flowing river of generation to generation. It's a flowing, and that's what a nachla is.
You inherit from your father.
Nachla, you inherit from your father, and what you'll have, Levo will go to your son. So the nachla, the spiritual nachla, the spiritual inheritance, and there's kashmiyistic inheritance, and material. But the nachla is the flow of time from generation to the right generation. Like the water flows from space to space, it's a nachal. The nachal is a river, is water moving from space to space, and the nachala is the giving over of inheritance and time from generation to generation. That's a river of time. One is a river of space, and one is a river of time. So the nachalosam, the tzaddik, what he gives over is not just for itself, like we had in last week's pasha. Hashem says, I will keep the whole world in the schus of the tzaddik. The nachalosam, what they achieved in their lifetime, it goes over, it flows to the whole world. The tzaddik brings a shefa, he brings a flow of chesed, of gutzkeit, of whatever it is, of ruchnius, of bracha to the world. So now let's go back again. Everything in this world can be divided into three categories. It's a concept as well in the oilam, shona, nefesh. There's the nefesh of man, and these three things are corresponding to each other. Each one a complete creation. And Kodesh Baruch Hu created the creation in three aspects. There's nefesh ha'odam, which is all encompassing man. There's time, and there's space. So the pasuk says, Yodea Hashem, you made the tzaddik is tamim. He's tamim. That's nefesh. Yemehem tmimim. That's time. V'nachlosam la'olam tiyeh. That's space. We have all three over here. We have all three aspects. Now, what is the meaning of tamim? First of all, the word tamim we find in one of the mitzvahs. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Rashi says over there that you shouldn't inquire about the future. What does it mean? Don't ask questions in different words. What is the connection of tmimis and not asking questions? Rashi, Hashem says to Avraham Avinu when he tells him to make the bris milah, says, Alech lefonai v'hayei. What do we? The Bible always says it before he makes the bris milah. His halech lefonai v'hayei tam, complete, because the mechitza, the division between man and Hashem is the questions that he asks. That he thinks that he understands the world. And if the world, and in his understanding, the world seems to be functioning different than his understanding. He thinks the world should be different. As much as he thinks that the world should be different, he's in conflict with the Bari Olam, because the Bari Olam thinks differently. Like one of the Hasidim, one of the Rebbes once said, Rebbeinu Shel Olam, put the reins of the world in my hands. I don't know how to run it. So they said, yeah, you know how to run it? How do you do it? Oh, it's very simple. I'll look at HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I see what he does, and I'll imitate him. This midah, if a person is in full acceptance, that's called tmimus. Tmimus is that he has to succeed, he can be mevatel, he can annul his own mind to Hashem. That he's humble in front of Hashem. That's the midah of tmimus. The Medrash brings this pasuk when it begins with you, Chaya Sara, and it ends on, it says, and Sarah was Kador Eglo Tmimosa. Like this innocent Tamim Egel. Egel is calf. What does it mean? What's so Tamim? What's so complete to be? What's the shvach? To praise Sarah that she was innocent like an innocent calf. What's going on here? So the Beis HaLevi, Yosef Lubes he says pshat in this Medrash. He says like this. He explains the Medrash with a halacha, with a law of Choshen Mishpat. An Eved Kenaini can be acquired. You can an Eved, a servant, a slave, can be everything. Every possession has its special way of acquisition. One of the kinyonim, one of the acts of acquisition for an Eved Kenaini, it's a Mishnah Kedushin. So it says that Eved Kenaini is nikna, can be acquired by Meshicha, by pulling it. As well, a behema, it's also Mishnah Kedushin, is also acquired with Meshicha. Meshicha is the pulling it. But there's a difference. It says like this. An animal, if you call the animal, you didn't physically pull the animal. You call the animal and the animal responds to your call and it comes. You've acquired, you've made an act of acquisition. The animal is yours. But if you want to acquire the slave, and you say, the slave, please come here, and the slave listens to you, when he comes to you, you have not acquired the slave. If somebody's selling you the slave, you can regret the transaction. It's not called a Mashiach. What's the difference between the two? Because the animal doesn't have choice. He doesn't have any das. So when I call him and he comes, I make him come, it's my act. But the Eved has independent thinking. So I didn't pull him. He decided to listen to me and to come. The Eved is a daita de nafshe. He has his own, he has a mind of his own. Sarah, the midah of tmimis means that the person reached the madrega that klapi HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in reference to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he doesn't have a mind of his own. He doesn't have his own mind. He's bought to Hashem. That's what it says that Sarah was kahador egla tmimas. That's the midah of tmimis. And where do we find this idea expressed in Chazal? Odom, there's a pasuk. We say it after Mincha and Shabbos. Maybe you recognize the pasuk. Odom ubehema. Now, what's the end of the pasuk? How's it go? Tashia Hashem. Oh, very good. Odom ubehema Tashia Hashem. So Chazal and Gemara and Chulin 5a says like this. The drush like this. Elu b'nei Odom. What does it mean? An animal. It doesn't mean an animal and a Hashem. A human being and an animal. Hashem saves. What's going on? Yeah, Hashem saves everybody. What? It's not talking about two things. It's talking about one thing. Adam u'behema. If he's an Adam and he's a behema, Hashem saves. What? Adam is a behema. You have to be an Adam, not a behema, right? Nimshuk a behema snib. If you like a behema, it's no good. He says no. This is talking about Elu b'nei Adam shemarumim medas, that they have clever mind. Rashi says like Odom Arishin, Odom Arum Vedas, but out of choice, Mesimim es atzmum kebehema. They make themselves like a behema. That means in reference to fulfilling the Ritzayin Hashem, they're like a behema. Hashem, whatever Hashem calls, they come. They don't have their independent mind. They know themselves Klapi Hashem. This is the Madrega of Tmimis. This is Tmimis. So let's get back to the Medrash. So the Medrash says like this: the Tachlis, the reason why the neshama comes to this world is to reveal the glory of Hashem. This world, we've spoken about it many times, the name of this world is Olam. Olam is together with another word in Hebrew, comes from the word Olam. How do you say to hide something? Laha'alim, to conceal. Olam, this world is the world of Hester, the world of concealment. It is the goal and the duty, the responsibility of the human being to overcome every point of time which life is made up has a certain hester to it, has a certain concealment to it. I'm putting everybody to sleep. That's really keeping.
Responsibility is for the person to reveal that.
To reveal, to unveil, to uncover the HaKadosh Baruch Hu with every concealment. I'll just give you an example. The word Shana in Gematria is 355, right? But it also reminds us of the word Shena. And if you put this, and you put three letters with it, how much does it come to?
358.
358. How do you write 358 in Hebrew? Shin, Nun, Chet. And what word does that make? If you want to make a word with Shin, Nun, Chet, which word could you make with it? I'll tell you, I'll help you out. Nachash. Who's this? Where's the source of all Hester and concealment in this world? The Yetzer Hara, the Nachash.
Right,
So time is the Nachash. Time represents this, the world of time. That's in the Shlita, in the rulership of the Nachash.
Oh, but wait,
The tzaddik, he uncovers the Mitzias of Hashem. Every galop, every wave of time that comes to conceal Hashem, he overcomes that wave. Life and its ups and downs are tests from Hashem. And the tzaddik, he manages to find in every bit of time how to fulfill the Ritzon Hashem. That is the meaning Yemehem Tmimim. Their time is complete. Sara Miloshem. The word Sara reminds of which word in Hebrew? The name Sara. What does the word Sara mean in Hebrew? Sara. What does it mean? Let's take off the hay. Sar. What is it? What's a sar?
Pain.
Minister.
Minister, to rule. Sara is ruling over time. She's ruling over herself. She's Oymed B'Nisayom. She's standing in every test. She's uncovering the Metzius Hashem, the presence of Hashem in time. Esther is revealed, Kvod Shemayim, in like Esther revealed, like Sarah revealed Kvod Shemayim in the dimension of time. Esther, through her Mesirat Nefesh and the nest that came through her, the miracle, she revealed Kvod Shemayim in space. This is the parallel that Rav Kiva said. Lama Zochsa Esther, to rule. She also ruled. She ruled for the sake of Hashem and to save Klal Yisrael on 127 Medinot. Let the grandchild of Sarah, who ruled herself for the sake of Hashem on 127 years, and let her grandchild, Biskus Sarah, who went in her ways, rule on 127 Medinot. This is the parallel between revealing Kvod Shemayim in the dimension of time and revealing the honor of Hashem in the dimension of space. That's what the Kiva did. You got it? Makes sense?
Sarah was ruling over time because of she ruled over days.
That's right.
As a result, she allowed Esther to reveal.
And Esther with her Mesiras Nefesh to go to a Chashverosh and not make any. Esther was nahig as well in the Midah of Tmimis. She didn't say what's going to be with me, what's going to happen. She went without questions to save Klal Yisrael to a Chashverosh, and so she succeeded in saving Klal Yisrael. So Esther went as well with the Midah of Tmimut, the Midah of being mevatel and annulling one's das. She didn't. If she would have thought, what's going to be? Now I'm queen. Tomorrow I'm going to be killed. What's going to happen here? She didn't think twice. Klal Yisrael, when Mordechai gave her Musa, Klal Yisrael is at stake. She went.
Did she do that? We say that part of it was because of she was the granddaughter honor of
Sarah. Well, everything we have is from our Ovis and Imois. Whatever we have is from the fathers. So, and where did Esther get this power of Mesiras Nefesh? It comes from Sarah. Now, there's another Chazal. I want to give over an idea. There's another Chazal. It says like this. One shouldn't get distressed if people sleep when you speak, because it seems it happened more than once by Rabbi Akiva. Because there's another Chazal. Rabbi Akiva was Yoshe B'Doirish, R'roah Shatziva Misnamnem. He saw the Tzivas going to sleep. So he said another question. He said, there was, that all the women in Mitzrayim, it says they gave birth to I don't know how you say six anyway. Six tuplets. Six. Vayiruba, Vayatzmu, V'moid, Ma'oid, V'yishutzu. Anyways, he said that there was one Isha in Mitzrayim that she didn't give birth to six tuplets, she gave birth to 600,000. 600,000. Even the insects that might give birth to thousands, not 600,000. Who was it? Yocheved, because she gave birth to Moshe Rabbeinu. And Moshe Rabbeinu is shokol, he's equal to the all Klal Yisrael. The Shishim Ribu to the 600,000 neshamas of Klal Yisrael. That was the answer. There is something in my mind, I think there's something similar between these two ideas that Rabbi Akiva expressed when the Tzivah went to sleep. Let's think about it. Esther, why suddenly did Rabbi Akiva compare Esther to Sarah? What is the common denominator between Esther? Outside of this was time and space, but there's something else. In Sarah is contained all Klal Yisrael. Sarah is the aim, like Avraham is the father of Klal Yisrael, Sarah is the mother of Klal Yisrael. It means within Klal, Sarah is all Klal Yisrael. And Esther has something similar to Sarah. You know how? All of Am Yisrael at that point was in danger. And Esther, with her Mesiras Nefesh, she gave birth to all Klal Yisrael. Had Haman fulfilled his decree, that's the end of Klal Yisrael. So it's as if Am Yisrael, through the efforts of Esther, was reborn. Like Sarah is the mother of Klal Yisrael, Esther at that point with Mesiras Nefesh, she became the mother of Klal Yisrael because she saved Klal Yisrael from total annihilation. So what is he saying, Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Akiva is saying, and now, so it means what do we have here? We have a prat. A prat is a part that contains within itself the cloud. The whole thing. That in every part of something, what's he saying? Don't be mezalzel in a pot. Sometimes within a pot you can have everything. In our world today, we see this under the idea you can have a little compact disc that has everything.
What's mezalzel?
What?
What's mezalzel?
No, it's very good that she is. Mezalzel, don't underestimate, don't put down the value of a pot. Rabbi Akiva he's facing his audience, and they're sleeping. They're now in a shir. This time is in front of them. They have something to do. They're now putting down the value of this stuff. I'll listen tomorrow. I'll hear tomorrow's shir. So he's telling them the importance of a pot. Don't put down the smallest, minutest part in this world, because in any pot contains everything. And the same idea, he expresses it by Moshe Rabbeinu. Isha achas haysa b'Mitzrayim. Moshe was only one, but that one had contained all Klal Yisrael. Esther was only one act, and that one act, the test that she had from Hashem, she became like the Sarah, the mother of all Klal Yisrael. Don't underestimate any part of life. In every part of life contains, like a tree, that you can make a whole tree from every part of the tree. In every part of time of life, if you do the right thing, you can make something which contains everything. It's not just him. It's influencing all his future generations. What we do influences the people around us, influences the world. He's broadening the concept of the people. Don't look as parts of parts. Parts are parts of the cloud, parts are parts of the whole, and the part, if it's b'shleimus, it influences the whole. And we get back to here what the Pasuk expresses. All the parts of the life of Sarah came together to make a perfection. And that's what the Pasuk says, Vayiyu Chaya Sara. The whole life of Sarah came together to a shleimus when she departed from this world. And the pasuk expresses the same idea a second time at the end of the pasuk. It emphasizes this point. Rashi expresses it. Shnei Chaya Sara, says Rashi. What is Shnei Chaya Sara? Says Rashi, Kulam Shavim L'Toiva. The whole life of Sarah was equal to goodness. Now this Rashi is a pellet. You might think, ooh, Kulam Shavim L'Toiva. Let's be jealous of Sarah. Look what a life she had. They were all good. She had all good times in her life. All good times. What are the all good times that she had in her life? 90 years Sarah did not have children, and she was mispaled for children and believed that she'll die without any future. 90 years old without children. 90 years she suffered an enormous pain of a woman, childless, barren, without children. Twice she was captured by Paro. She was in danger by Avimelech. Captured by Avimelech. Twice captured. Twice a prisoner and in danger. So it says, you want to know how long Sarah actually lived? Derech Chaim says, if I'm not mistaken. Vayiyu Chaya Sara. Here we'll go to not Pshat. Until now we spoke about Pshat, we'll go to Gematria. What is the Gematria of the word Vayiyu? You know what the Gematria is? It's 37. You can figure it out. How much was the life of Sarah that she actually felt she's alive with happiness? 37 years. After, from the age of 90, she became pregnant with Yitzchak. And Yitzchak, when she died 127, so she had 37 years of being together with Yitzchak. That's how you say it. From the 127 years, she had 37 years of pleasure and happiness. So what's Kulam? So if that's the case, what does it mean? Kulam Shavim L'Taiva. What's the all equal L'Taiva? She had years of enormous torment and pain and suffering. The answer is that Sarah knew to translate. She understood what's Taiva. Okay, like here we'll go back to a definition. We have to define Taiva. What is Taiva? So let us use the definition of the Ramchal in his first chapter in Mesilat Yesharim. If you analyze what is perfection, it's rak hadvekis by Yisborach, to be attached to Hashem. Ki rak zehu atoyim. This is the only thing which is toyim. V'chol zulat zeh shiachshavu b'nei adam l'toyim. Everything else that people consider toyim is a mistake. Ein ela hevel, it's vanity. Shav, it has no value, and it's a mistake. It's going off the wrong way. The only thing that can be called toyim is to be attached to Hashem. Now let's go back with the definition of the Ramchal. Let's read the Rashi. Kulam shavim v'toiva. All the years of Sarah were equal with toiva. What is toiva? She managed to turn every situation in a way. She found a way to use it as a tool of dveikis Hashem. She's constantly attached to Hashem. And if you want to take further, I will tell you Chassidus Shabbat, and I think I'll end with this word. I think my time is up here. But Shnei Chaya Sara. What is the life of Sarah? Vatomas Sarah. The life of Sarah is Vatomas Sarah. Her whole life was Vatomas Sarah. This reminds us of a Gemara in Maseches Tamid on page 31. Here it says, Ritzeincha shalai Thomas, if you don't want to die. Mais ad shalai Thomas. Die before you die. Meaning, make yourself smaller, go against your will, break your will for the will of Hashem. Shnei Chaya Sara, Vatomas Sara. Sarah was constantly mess. That was her chayim. Mess for the will of Hashem. And that's why when she died, where did she die? He Hebron. What was her life? Her life was through Thomas Sara. She was constantly in Hebron. What is Hebron? Hebron comes from the word chibur. What is the word chibur in Hebrew? Somebody know what chibur is? Connection. She was constantly connected with Hashem. Thomas Sara, the Kiryat Arba. Kiryat Arba, a city of 4, is the guf, which is made up of 4 yesodot. Eishruach Mayim Ova. And Kiryat Arba, Haguf, didn't lead her astray from Hashem, but it brought her to Hebron. She was constantly in Hebron, in a state of connection with Hashem.
Wow.
Oh yeah. You woke us up. Arim Roshi Esoina